From Olokemi Olifunto Adigogi Badenoch on X. The Home Secretary should look at all possible options for Alaa Abdel Fattah, including whether his citizenship can be revoked and he can be removed from Britain. British citizenship is more than a passport, it means subscribing to our values. Britain is our home, not a hotel. Was a hotel for you, wasn't it, love? Was a hotel for you? Oh, I'm sorry, dear viewer. Are you labouring under the delusion that a name consisting of 47 consonants and vowels is an English name, are you? Because that's what she's called. I wasn't making that up. I'm quite facetious. I sometimes make things up for a crack. But no, that's her name. That's her name. The reason we call her Kemi is because, funny old thing, Olokemi Alafonto Adegogi doesn't roll off the tongue very well, does it? And I apologise for going back over old ground that we've already tread. You know, I covered this story when it first broke a few days ago, but we have to go back to it because it's got legs. And the amount of stuff that's come out in the last 3 days is genuinely staggering. But I want to start this video by pointing out, just for those of you that are raving lunatics and you're still thinking of voting Conservative in the next election, do you know whose party gave Ali Abd El Fattah citizenship? Do you? Well, I'll tell you whose party. I'll give you a clue. The leader of the party looks like she could fit a bin lid between the gap in her front teeth. Have you guessed? Yeah, it was Olokemi Olafonto's party, wasn't it? Okay, mind-melting hypocrisy as usual from the fake, not conservative, woke, ridiculous, definitely not conservative. People say small c conservative. No, there is no c. They're unservative. That's what the modern Conservative Party is in the UK. His citizenship was given by the Conservative Party. She probably voted for it, although I doubt they got consulted on it. But it was the Conservatives. They gave this oxygen thief citizenship, and it's a damning indictment of both parties that they've had to plead ignorance and go, because I mean they couldn't well come out and say, oh well, of course we knew about all of his tweets and his statements about, you know, eradicating all of the people off the planet Earth who have a complexion similar to mine, or surprise sexing all the women, or genociding all the 4B2s and all the other mental shit that he's come out with. So they couldn't just come right out and say, oh, we support all of that and we gave him citizenship anyway. So they're in a catch-22 situation, weren't they? The only thing they could do is plead ignorance, which if you think about it, it's almost worse, isn't it? It's almost worse. Because at least if they're just overtly hostile to the British people, we can just name and shame the enemy. We can draw a line in the sand and say, there's the enemy. That's them there. Get them. But to plead pure ignorance, well, begs the question, doesn't it? Have they done a background check on the 15 million people that have moved to the UK in the last 25 years? Probably not. So the Prime Minister was between a rock and a hard place. He had to just come out and say, well, you know, we don't check people out before we give them citizenship. No, we don't do that. That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy, wouldn't it? If you apply for British citizenship, we just give you it. Yeah, we don't care if you're a kiddie fiddler or a wannabe suicide bomber. Well, we just give you it. Yeah, makes loads of sense. Anyway, enough ranting. Here's the best story I found about it. It distills it neatly and gives you some of those quotes I'm talking about without me having to go to each individual one on Twitter. But trust me, it's got a lot worse in the last 72 hours. And the sloshing android jizz bowser that we call Keir Starmer, he's just got nowhere left to go, has he? Overt hostility to you, the British people, or staggering incompetence and ignorance. He had to pick one of them, but neither sounds good. Right, this is a good read because it's behind a paywall, so allow me. We are governed by a class of gullible idiots. It's that simple. Very sensible, David. You'll do for me, son. Just 3 days have passed since the Prime Minister told us he was delighted by the arrival in Britain of Egyptian dissident and alleged extremist Alaa Abd El Fattah. Since then, countless abhorrent posts from his social media have emerged. In these posts, he expresses hatred for the 4B2s. He says he rejoices when US soldiers are killed. He repeatedly states that he hates white people and that humanity will not be redeemed until we commit genocide against all white people. This is unbelievable. I love how the start of that story starts with alleged Extremist. Alleged. Like maybe we can take humanity will not be redeemed until we commit genocide against all white people. Maybe we're taking that out of context. Maybe he's a run-of-the-mill splendid chap. And we're just, reading between the lines there. He also said that white people are a blight on the earth and it's a good thing they stop breeding. Oh, this is amazing. This is amazing. And if knobheads like me can find this stuff on X by putting in a modicum of effort, what are the security services doing in the UK? What are they doing? You could be an illegal immigrant mid-thrust into a 12-year-old above a greasy kebab shop in Rotherham, and the Home Office will push a British passport through your letterbox. It's actually unbelievable. It gets better. He expresses a particular loathing for England. Brilliant. Love that. Fantastic idea to import him to the one country on planet Earth that he hates more than any other, describing the English as a nation responsible for the greatest number of massacres in human history. We are now being told that the Prime Minister was not aware of these social media posts before they became public. This is an astonishing admission of incompetence, but much as it's tempting to lay the blame on Keir Starmer... Oh, nearly forgot. Keir Starmer. Ha! Gay! The truth is that this disaster has been years in the making, and it's the fault of hundreds of people, and revealed quite how stupid and incurious much of our political and media class are. Starmer made freeing this raving lunatic a top priority. The British state doesn't generally intervene when dual nationals are imprisoned in a country they are citizens of, but because dozens of celebrities like Bill Nye and Judi Dench and Emma Thompson joined the Free Allah campaign, well, he felt it was important, didn't he? Our silly left-wing celebrities love the idea of supporting a brave prisoner of conscience, especially if he's foreign. It gets even better. You know how, Project Veritas secretly filmed, one of the top boys at CNN telling the James O'Keefe, he was saying, it was our job to get Trump out of office, and now it's our job to push climate change. They just outright tell you, if you look for it. This is just more of the same. This is proof that the media classes get told what they have to push on the people. They're not journalists. They're paid propagandists. They get told before the fact what's important, and then they go out and look for anything, dredge up any evidence they can to support they've already been given by, the handlers in the WHO or the UN or whatever government departments feeding them the breadcrumbs. For example, this campaign featured an utterly implausible story where Al Fatah's anchor baby mother, who also isn't British, claimed he'd been on a hunger strike for 11 months. 11 months. That would break every single world record. That would make Bobby Sands look like a fat knacker if he could do 11 months on hunger strike, eating, drinking only tea. It's preposterous, but nobody says, are you lying? If you're going to tell me that someone didn't eat any food for 11 months and they're still alive, any journalist should go, well, you're a lying twat. You don't even need to dig into it, do you? You don't. You might as well tell me he can teleport or levitate or turn into the Human Torch and fly through the azure skies while flames cascade behind him. Basically, you're living in Marvel Comics if you believe a man can do 11 months without eating anything. But because the journalists aren't journalists, nobody asks. They just go, the poor mate, he hasn't eaten for a year. Let him in. Let him in. Does he want to blow little kids up and women and babies? Yes, but he hasn't eaten for a year, so let him in. He has. This lack of curiosity is apparent amongst our political class too, obviously. David Lamtron said he was going to try and secure El Fatah's release. And in September, Alicia Kearns, who again is a Tory, so please don't be saying anything nice about the Tories in earshot of me, tweeted a celebration of Al Fatah's release from prison. She has subsequently posted an evasive explanation in which she insists she was not aware of his grotesque tweet. Unbelievable. 107 other parliamentarians signed a letter pleading with David Lammy, and they all trusted the process. There isn't a process. These people are not serious. In no other walk of life would this blithe incompetence be acceptable. We are fools to tolerate it in those who govern us. It's time for them all to go. Excellent piece, that, David. I could have wrote it, and I agree entirely. To sum up, ladies and gentlemen, The last 3 days, we have now seen hundreds of tweets, hundreds of them, that prove that the bloke we've just imported to England hates England more than any other country on planet Earth, is a full-blown extremist, and has tweeted things out that have resulted in long-term prison sentences for dozens of white people in the United Kingdom. So, it's almost boring telling you now, isn't it? It's almost dull. It's as dull as dishwater. You already know this. You know that the state hates you. You know that the civil service and the judges and the lawyers are activists. And you know they didn't check his background because they don't care what your background is if you're brown, black, or a practitioner of the most backwards, ridiculous, absurd religion since Pastafarianism. The blokes who are into that, the flying spaghetti monster, talk more sense than the regulars at the snack bar. But if you're one of them, the British government will let you in. Doesn't matter what you've done, what you've said, how many kids you've fingered, they couldn't give a flying shite. You're in, gold star, stamp your passport, have a council house. It's mental. You know it. I know it's been going on for years. They all need to go. We need to go through the civil service like a dose of salts. There needs to be a reckoning. But in the time being, let me just say this. Cameron, Johnson, Sunak, Badenoch, the lot of them are identical to the Labour Party. They pretend, this farcical pretense where they disagree with each other is to try and trick the 20% of morons that call themselves conservatives, that they're actually in opposition. They aren't in opposition. They agree with them all the time. Robert Jenrick is gobbing off about this shit, and he imported 100,000 Afghans. Think about it. They're all the enemy. Get with the programme. Galvanise behind old frog face and pray for something better in the future. All right? If you disagree, you think you couldn't fit a bin lid between Kemi's teeth, maybe just like a £2 coin or something, please let me know in the comments down below. I'll see you all tomorrow. Toodle pip. Cheers.